All right, hi there, internet YouTubers. Welcome to what the fuck is this show called again? I miss it every intro. Media Reloads Digital Playground. I'm Ben here with us again. We got a 4-man cast now this time.
Finally.
Got Sean as always. Jesse's back and introducing our friend Jimmy. And we're gonna start the day off a little bit of a change of pace from what you guys have been following us, and I hope you follow along with us as we talk a little bit about the NBA Finals, which are on right now. A big event. Apparently, they've been playing some important matches of basketball, gentlemen.
I guess. I don't really know how to basketball, but I'm going to rely on you guys.
Yeah, and that's why we brought Jimmy in.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
Jimmy's a pretty big basketball fan. He knows a lot. And so the first question that we're going to ask is, are the Warriors really beating the Cavs, or are the Cavs beating the Cavs? Because, and I'm going to go to Jimmy first, the Cavs look worse than the Cavaliers team we saw last year. So go ahead.
It's a little bit of a cop-out answer, but it's actually a little bit of both things.
Okay.
Golden State is, I don't think there's anyone on the planet who could argue that they're not the best basketball team on the planet right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure in a couple of weeks we could take them to Rio and they'd win the gold medal. They're that good. They would lose Bogut to Australia, but that is what it is.
Yes, and Festus Ezeli.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Ezeli, yep. But no, and Cleveland looks uninspired, and I think we've reached the point in time where basketball fans in the NBA are going to have to start to realize that, unfortunately, LeBron James is starting to get older. And I think this is the first, he's reached his peak, and now he's going to start that. Now, he's still an incredible basketball player.
Yeah.
Right.
But at some point,
He's
it's
on
going to
his-
happen.
He's starting to show.
Yep.
Yeah,
Downward
Jesse,
slope.
go ahead and make your point, and I want to come back to LeBron's age in a second.
No, because that's actually where I was going to. I heard the argument that if he were to lose this final, he'd had to accept that he's no longer the present, he's the past. And it's starting to look that way. Sorry, Cleveland. Your drought's going to keep going.
Yeah.
I think it's more the Warriors than the Cavs.
Yeah.
They've had a chip on their shoulder the moment the season started, because everyone last year was like, oh no, they only won because the Cavs were injured and LeBron didn't have his pieces around him.
Right.
And every single time anyone brought that up, they're like, yeah, no, we're going to prove we're the best. They beat a record that no one thought could be beaten. They had the unanimous MVP for the first time ever. Their two best players haven't even heated up yet. I think they're just showing that, yeah, like Steph's our boy, but he's not what makes the Warriors great.
He's not our
They're-
LeBron.
Yeah, and
Exactly.
Jimmy, you additionally, and Jesse, you backed up the point that LeBron might be showing his age a little bit. And the funny thing is it doesn't come through in the numbers. His numbers
Right.
are nearly exactly the same as they've been every year he's been in the playoffs. But there's just these little ticks, these frustrations, jawing at teammates, things that LeBron doesn't really do because he is a really good teammate.
Yeah.
He's not getting back as fast on defense. He's just doing little things that we didn't see 4 years ago.
No.
I think, and it's an argument I heard again on ESPN, but it's a good one. The difference between LeBron in Cleveland and LeBron in Miami. In Miami, he had people telling him no. In Cleveland, everything that goes to that team goes to LeBron, whether they want to admit it or not.
Yeah,
So-
there's no one above. There's no mob boss
Yeah.
Pat Riley above him.
Even the front office moves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
seemed
The
to be.
GM,
he's
the
the
coach,
GM.
the best player.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So, without having someone like Wade, like, dude,
Absolutely.
chill, let them handle this, and we'll just take care of it on the court. I think we're starting to see the effects that while he's a good basketball player, maybe coaching's not in his bag of tricks.
Or at least not when he's doing everything else too. You know, like you can only do so much at one time. You can't be the one guy when it's a team sport and it's a group effort in the back end. Like you can't do that.
We had talked about this in the pre-show, and I wanted to just give the guys a couple minutes while we were filming to think about the games that we've seen so far, think about the games that we've seen leading up to these NBA Finals, and come up with like an individual insight, maybe even not about the Warriors versus Cavs, but about these 2016 NBA playoffs in general. And Jesse, I'm going to come to you first. Like, are you just seeing anything that's different, or maybe something that's the same that we've seen before? And something that's not just the Warriors might be the best team of all time.
Well, I mean, you'd argue that OKC kind of put that statement to the test. OKC versus the Warriors pretty much were the finals because they're the only thing that were competitive. I mean, yeah, East is still the East. I think Toronto's going to be a big threat next year.
And it was fun to watch those young
Yeah.
guys really fight against a team that was probably
I think
better
the
than them.
Pistons are going to are going in a good direction. So I think maybe next year they'll be not through the doorway, but at least on the doorstep. I don't see the West changing. OKC's, unless they can keep Durant, they're not going to be the same powerhouse they were. The Spurs still going to be the Spurs, so they're going to be up there. Though age is starting to show on that team as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, unless some miracle happens, Minnesota.
Gonna be really exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Jimmy, what about you?
Well, I think unfortunately for LeBron, we are seeing he's reaping the benefits, I guess, for lack of a better term, of the league that he created when he decided to go to Miami. The league is so top heavy now. The Pistons were, like you said, they've made strides, but they're not
ready.
They're not a contender.
Nope.
And they made the playoffs. They played Cleveland in the first round. And the Eastern Conference this year was so weak. Toronto was the only minor threat, and realistically, they never even had a chance.
Everyone threw them off, and
Right.
they didn't win a game out of Canada.
Right. So, if you don't have those three big players, and people would argue that, yes, Golden State has a really deep team, but they still have
Golden
Thompson.
State they have 7 starters.
Exactly. But I mean,
So don't say that
Right.
that's like some sort of like ragtag group of guys. They have
Exactly.
7 starters.
We're not talking about the 04 Pistons here, guys.
Which was the ragtag
Ben
group,
Wallace
yeah.
isn't the best player on this team
Right, yeah.
by a long shot.
Right.
This is the first unanimous MVP ever. I think it's the league that LeBron himself created, and now he's getting a taste of his own medicine.
Yeah, and it'll be really interesting going forward. I want to get back to the playoffs in a second, but a lot of teams are going to be able to afford to put together these super teams in the next few years. So the landscape is going to change. We're going to see where Kevin Durant goes.
Right.
You know, it's not long since he was the MVP. And the one thing I was hoping you'd bring it up, Jimmy, because I know you probably watched it a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I cannot wait to see the Portland Trailblazers come back because Damian Lillard might be my favorite player next year.
I forgot
The
about
dude
them.
plays like an insane person.
He is
He
so
thinks he's
exciting.
the best player in the league. And watch him play against Steph Curry because he put him in his back pocket a few times, dude. He stole Curry's lunch money.
Absolutely.
And it was the regular season, and Steph knew they were winning 68 minimum games.
Right.
So he was not trying for a couple of those. But it was seriously entertaining. Regardless of how the finals turn out, it's been a pleasure to watch basketball this year, and I'm just really excited. Jesse said he can't wait for football. I can't wait for football either, but like I do get an itch every October when I'm starting to look at basketball coming
Yeah,
back.
I'm starting to get that itch too. It's been a slow process, but it's getting there. Football's always been my main sport, but basketball, like you're starting to. Yeah, no, I'm curious to see where Durant goes next year.
Well, so why does everyone think that he's not going to be in OKC?
That was the point that a bunch of reporters made is that they almost beat the greatest regular season team in history in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I can't believe they didn't.
Right.
And it seems like only a crazy person would go back. But a man named Pat Riley's still alive. A man that convinced 3 of the best players in the world to take less money than they could all make and come together with a team where there were 4 people on the roster when they signed.
Don't forget
So-
he's from Texas, too.
And
Right.
Pat Riley has a house in Santa Monica that he's been to like 13 total times in 20 years. And he has a camera that he looks up on his computer. And someone asked him about it. And they said, "Why do you do that?" And he said, just want to know it's there. That's like how swaggy that guy is. So never underestimate Pat Riley. He's Tywin Lannister. And we'll get to that in the Game of Thrones segment.
I would
but-
argue
this
he's
is-
more Joffrey.
this is it's a stupid prediction, but just wanted to keep it in my head because there's talks of Cleveland dropping Kevin Love. Do you think? I mean, LeBron still has influence. Do you think maybe he could convince Durant to go to Cleveland? Because if Cleveland adds another like scorer that could do what Durant does, that's scary.
I don't think they can afford him. They just paid Tristan Thompson $19 million a year because he was LeBron's best friend.
And Kyrie Irving still can't stop Steph.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So
Well,
I mean,
that's-
it'd be weird working the
it's-
financials
yeah.
out. Is the thing.
Well, because isn't the cap for the NBA getting restructured to
It's
do
going to
with
go up.
Yeah, but the 2017 will be the huge hit.
Right.
And it won't be at the end of this year. It'll be the next year when the large jump
Yeah,
comes.
because I know they were talking
Pistons
about.
are in a great spot for
Yes,
those of you
so-
watching
yes,
from
they are.
around here.
Oh God! Imagine Durant with the Pistons, like, because if we had that star player who's like, yeah, I can score at will.
That'd be nice. We could use it.
Let's go get Allen Iverson, guys.
So we're going to wrap this up with a couple of predictions. Jesse,
Trade.
I think I know where you're going with this, but what's your NBA Finals prediction, end of it? And give me an MVP. Because right now it's not either one of the Splash Brothers. Still could
I
be.
mean, it's going to be Warriors in 5.
Okay. And who's holding the MVP trophy?
I'll go with the local Green.
Draymond Green.
Yeah.
that was my guess too.
Same thing.
Yeah, same thing. 5 and Green. 'Cause I don't think that the NBA will allow Cleveland to not win one.
Exactly right.
Okay. You
He
can
doesn't
tune
play
into
video
our
games 'cause
special
he hates
bonus
losing.
NBA conspiracy podcast.
I'll be
We
back
talk
for
about
that.
how they fix games. But go ahead, Jimmy, with
Well, truly, the unsung hero, we have not mentioned his name yet, of this entire series and their entire season.
Go ahead.
Is Andre Iguodala.
Oh, come on. It's Sean Livingston in this series,
right.
man.
And, okay.
In this series.
Defensively, what he's doing to LeBron right now.
You're right.
Is
Yeah,
fantastic.
my
he's
little
completely
brother,
shut him
my little
down.
brother loves pointing out that the reason why you know LeBron James is the best player alive is because the last 2 Finals MVPs have been the guy that guarded LeBron James
Exactly
in the finals.
correct.
So, so yeah, it stands to reason that the guy that guards LeBron is the
He
MVP.
won it last year.
Yeah. You know, and I hate to do this, but I'm going to let my 6-year-old rah-rah cheering for Chris Webber in the Final Four come forward, and I'm going to pick Cleveland in 7 with LeBron James as the MVP of the finals.
Putting the team
Hoisting-
on his
yeah,
Not only
because
the team, but the city.
that would be like a
State.
WWE storyline if that
Wow.
happened, and I'd really like to see it. So, anyways, thanks for coming. Thanks for stopping by
No
talking
worries.
basketball with us, guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get that conversation going on Facebook. Thanks, guys. Have a good week. We'll see you next time.